There's one on relationships. There's one on career. There's one on money, sex, and power. There's one in the shadow. There's one on work. There's one on creativity.
Mm.
We kind of, I think we kind of cover a broad spectrum of what most people's lives look like in a day-to-day kind of way. The Karma Yoga section is really important, we think, because basically Westerners are doers, and Asians historically have been more observers or contemplatives. So while the West was building automobiles and airplanes, the East was understanding how consciousness works at the
Mm.
micro level. So they have such a map for how consciousness functions, the nature of its struggles and difficulties, where we get trapped, and how to liberate the mind from its own net. Whereas in the West, we've gone and built houses with central heating, which up here in Canada we certainly enjoy. So
We
in that
sure
sense, we're
do.
doers. So I think this integration of doing karma yoga with meditation, being, and then the shadow, the dialogue between them, which includes relationships and everything else that goes with it.
We also talk about money a fair bit in the book as part of the shadow, and in
Mm.
particular because I think for spiritual practitioners this is really a big issue, and it's important. We need to choose to not, our society, our consumeristic society, kind of points us towards, the best job, the highest salary, the best fill in the blank, biggest house, da 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 da. And we need to, at some point, make a choice that that isn't going to be our top priority, that our spiritual practice is going to be our top priority. And that's super important. And I think a lot of spiritual practitioners we throw the baby out with the bathwater, and then we become unable to support the teachings and the centers
Mm.
and the teachers and ourselves and our own spiritual practice, because we haven't really done that work. Our brain doesn't have a part of that part of it that can process money. So it treats money with the reptilian brain as
Mm.
though it were food or some essential necessity, and that's why we go into such a kind of life or death panic, like I'm struggling to survive, when in fact that's not really at all accurate. We might be struggling to make rent, or struggling to buy that new car, but that's different.
Good economics means you can consume more is a uh, inherent
Mm.
error in the idea of misunderstanding of resources, that if we have them we can eat them, get more, get more, get more. We
Mm.
can point
Hmm.
to
Mhm.
the what do you call them, those places where you store things from you because you don't have room in your house.
The public storage
um,
units.
yeah, the public storage
Hmm.
units. I mean, people with huge houses have got 2 or 3 of those filled with stuff. And so I think the indication is that in order to be healthy, you actually have to have the discipline to pull back from consumption. And I think most people's idea is more consumption equals happiness, rather
Mhm.
than a little
Right.
bit pull back from that and have a more healthy diet. Because in the old days, in the forager days, they fasted for long periods. Like there'd be fasts and feasts and fasts and feasts, but nobody starved really. I think a lot of people don't recognize that capitalism is basically a long-winded result of agriculture and the separation of resources and who gets them and who's in control of them. And we start with mum. We learn to use mum. We take advantage of mum, and very rarely does mum get paid back uh, in the way that she deserves, given the amount she's invested in us. And I think
Christina
that
knows this
speaks
as a mother.
speaks taken for granted endlessly, and not unloved, but nevertheless, if I have a dime, I'm not going to give it to mom. I'm going to go buy bubblegum. So if I had $1, I'm not going to give 50 cents to mom. I'm going to go spend it on a whirly top or whatever. So we learned this early on, and I think it's central to where we are going forward in the future with community and economic sustainability and so on, that we
Mm.
need to see each other as team,